It's your boy Coach K, and we back at it with another one. Today, I ain't gonna lie, I'm still trying to figure out what we're gonna work on, but we're gonna at least start off with abs. I feel like I haven't really trained abs in a while. This is one of my favorite machines if I want to keep it super basic when it comes down to just, hitting the core. I was thinking about supersetting, but I don't think I'm gonna do too much supersetting today. I might change my mind as the program comes along. So just for those who are new here, I'm gonna be quite honest with y'all. When it comes down to me training, I always figure it out based upon how I go. I don't recommend this for everybody, but for me, I more so love to train when it comes down to how my body feels for the most part. So I might say that I'm gonna do a particular muscle group when I come in, but hey, who's to say that when you get here, whatever's available, you gotta hit something else. That's how it goes sometimes. I'm gonna be real with you at this point. I am not a big fan of working out at commercial gyms, but it is what it is at the end of the day. So we're gonna start off with this. I'm gonna keep it super light. We're gonna do 3 sets of 25 to kind of start it off, just to kind of get the abs kind of, warmed up before we really get into everything. Let's get it. Ooh, gotta adjust the seat already. That's a little too high for me. It's a little too high for you, boy. I think that should be good. Much less. But I'm gonna keep these simple. I'm gonna be in and out with these superset. I mean, not superset, but with this ab exercise, because I want to hit my second favorite. Can't eat a lot. That was 20, not 25. I'm gonna hit the second 5. I'll start to feel that one. Oh, one thing too, when you intended to do a certain amount of reps, I highly recommend take a little 5-10 second break and get right back to it. But it's gonna be the last set on this one right here. Let's get it. I definitely need to start training abs a little bit more. I didn't do cardio this morning just yet. You know what I mean? I just came in, was like, let me hurry up and get busy. Because at this particular gym, I feel like when the sun come up, it just mess up the whole routine. But it is what it is. I do want to squat, but I ain't got the right pants on today. So we might save the squats for a little bit later. So it sounds like it's gonna be more upper body as we get into it, but we're gonna do a few more ab exercises before we get busy. So fun fact about abs is without a doubt my least favorite area to train. I'm gonna be real with y'all on that. But we all have those things that we just hate and we don't really enjoy training. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean avoid it. If anything, it just says you should put it in the beginning of your program at the end of the day. That's the next exercise. So one thing I do need to make sure I do though, this time around, as you know, the weather starts to break in this so-called bulking season. Me personally, I do need to make sure that I'm consistently putting abs in my program. So I need to make sure I'm training abs at least 5 times a week, because I do feel like the past week, well, last week I didn't really work out like that, so that don't really count. But I do need to make sure I'm really tackling abs, because I see the difference when I'm incorporating abs and when I don't. Like I said, it's a lot easier for me to get heavier lifts throughout my process, so I'm gonna do my due diligence in making sure that I'm consistently training abs on a regular basis. So, as you can see, second exercise so far. When it comes down to abs, probably gonna do 1 or 2 more, still haven't decided yet. Because once again, I can't stand training abs. And I do wanna be aware of the idea that I most likely will train again later this evening. So sometimes I do 2-a-days, and when I do my 2-a-days, I like to be very strategic in regards to how I tackle my body. Well, break down my body at the end of the day. And I know if I do 2-a-days, I don't want to overdo it with the ab exercises. I will do abs later on the day as well. I'll just switch up the exercises that I did. So I'm gonna kind of keep it, I ain't gonna say light. I'm gonna challenge myself still, but I just want to make sure at the end of the day that if I hit abs, I don't hit it to a point that I need to give it a rest a little bit later. So for those, once again, who love telling people they need to slow it down on the ab routines, just because you can't connect with your mind and muscle when you're training, in certain scenarios when you're using a faster pace, I'm not gonna take momentum. Because momentum just, in my opinion, just really means that you just going through the movement, but you aren't able to connect. But I do try to get people to understand that you can do abs faster and still get abs. You guys see my ab routines all the time. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, I got more abs than a lot of people that be talking that bullshit. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna do 1 more set of this. I'm just keeping it 3 sets of 15, nice and sweet. Like I said, I'm not at a gym I primarily care for, but at the end of the day, we still gonna make the best of it, you feel me? Also, be careful who you getting fitness information from. I try to get y'all to understand influencers and professionals are night and day difference, and I see a lot of influencers don't know what the hell they talking about when it comes down to breaking down the body. And that's another reason why you just gotta use comments for entertainment, because they be trolling like crazy in the comments. It is what it is. But it's crazy too, as a professional, I just don't feel comfortable commenting on somebody else's video or photo in regards to giving information, mainly if it's a point that I don't understand their starting point. And just in general, it's not a part of my personal ethics. I'm gonna be real with y'all. But I've been seeing some stuff lately on Instagram, and I've been seeing things on Facebook, YouTube, where people clearly don't know what the hell they talking about, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm not the person that's gonna go back and forth with them, because everybody gotta start somewhere. And then 2, I'm not the type of person that likes to stop somebody's shine, but at the end of the day, y'all don't need to be listening to all these people, because sometimes if you really listen to what they're saying, you can kind of tell that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like, I feel like you shouldn't be training if you don't understand what a preacher curl is, or just the basics of training, you know what I mean? So I do try to get y'all to understand when it comes down to a lot of my content, there's going to be a switch up. I'm going to give you beginners, intermediate, advanced. Like, if it's a situation where I'm giving you an exercise and in reality you're intermediate, or you're a trainer that doesn't go with your personal philosophy, then just keep it scrolling, keep it moving. Like, not everything is for everybody, and there's so many different ways to get in shape. But I'm tired of people not understanding what areas target a certain area. Like, for example, I've been seeing women say, well, this help build glutes, and in reality, you're working hamstrings from the exercise. So this is why I keep trying to get y'all to understand. Some people that have certain physiques, the physiques that they have are genetics. Mainly if they like 19, 20, 21, you can eat like trash and still look good if you fairly work out at least 4 or 5 times a week. You should be listening to somebody like myself. I'm in the 30s now. You know, I'm officially 33 at this point. My birthday was October. Was this month, I ain't gonna say October. But my birthday was this month, and I can actually tell you the difference from so far 30s to 20s to teens. It's a night and day difference. Somebody that's, like I said, 18, 19, 20, man, you can eat trash all fucking day and work out 5 days a week and look in great shape. You ain't really gotta do too much in your teens. Once you start hitting 20s, you're gonna have to start, warming up, things to that nature. And once you hit 30s, I'm gonna tell you one thing. How you've been treating your body from your teens, your 20s is the reason why you look the way you look and feel the way you feel. So that's why I always try to get you to understand. The older we get, at the end of the day, the more you need to tighten up on everything, because puberty is over, y'all, at that point. So everything you've been feeding your body and how you've been training your body over years is going to predict the future outcome. So how I'm training my body, how I'm feeding my body in my 30s is going to be a huge indicator of how I'm going to feel in my 40s. Same thing goes for the 20s as well, and the teens as well. But like I said, stop taking information from these damn kids, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I see this all the time. Like, these kids are like 18, 20, and in reality, they haven't experienced anything yet. You know what I mean? And not to say that they don't know what the hell they're talking about, but it's very easy to get in shape and stay in shape at a young age. You can literally eat McDonald's, Chick-fil-A all day, because I used to do it. I'm not gonna sit here and fake. I used to do it all the time. And then I didn't receive my first health scare until technically early 20s from just eating crazy, which made me dramatically change how I was eating. But I'm glad I was able to make those adjustments so I can be where I am in my 30s. But I do try to get y'all to understand, man, you taking advice from a teen, man, and you in your 40s, you selling yourself short. They only got to do a couple bicep curls to really get a bicep, you feel me? And I'm not gonna sit here and fake. In my 30s, I noticed I did have to actually warm up. In my 20s, in my teens, man, fuck a warm up. I ain't even gonna sit here and play with y'all. Fuck a warm up. I used to literally just go straight to the work. I can't do that no more. I gotta make sure, gas up the car, let it warm up before I really get into it. That's another reason why I always stress. Starting off with 5 to 10 minutes of cardio, or do some type of low impact dynamic stretches to get the body warmed up, more so than just going straight into the activity, because you'll be able to perform at a high level. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, if you're in your teens, you're in your 20s, I ain't even gonna say it's fake. You could just get straight to the money. I'm not saying you should at the end of the day, because it does increase the chance of you getting injured if you don't warm up. But in reality, within my teens and my 20s, man, I was never warming up. I'm not gonna sit here and play with y'all. But this is why I try to get y'all to understand that the older we get, the more complicated these things get. I even see too, to be real with y'all, me experiencing my early 30s, it's a lot more difficult to keep some of the definition I was able to easily retain at a younger age. Because when I was younger, I was easy 5%, 6%. I barely went over 7% for years. I'm talking about, matter of fact, decades, to be real with y'all. So I say that to say this. Just be careful who the hell you getting information from, because everybody don't know what the hell they talking about. And this is a crazy thing to say too. I know I always say, how do y'all take information from somebody that's out of shape? But then I also want you to understand that if the person don't even know how they got in shape, that's a red flag too. So if you asking them like, what did you have to do to kind of get in shape, that kind of show you that they don't know what they're talking about too, because somebody could develop the skills just to know how to train themselves. And that's what some people kind of miss. Just because you're in great shape too, doesn't really mean that you know what you're doing, because there are a lot of people that are abusing a lot of wild stuff and eating crazy that are in great shape. I'm gonna be real with y'all. But I always say, within the test of time, you'll be able to see if what they're doing is right for you, or if what they're doing, it just don't make sense at all. Because at the end of the day, you can eat as crazy as you want now, but that shit will catch up to you. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It will catch up to you. That's the only thing about the body. Sometimes you can feed it BS for a long time until that one day it's just like, I can't take this no more, you feel me? Now we going to the next exercise. do understand too, like I said, when it comes down to working out, do the things you really enjoy if you really want to stay consistent. Because I get a lot of people that's talking about, man, I don't have the consistency to do this. You got to find the things you enjoy. Or, I always say this too, there are people out here, regardless of how much they enjoy it, they just don't like working out. And at that point, I think it's always easier to just get a coach. It makes life that much simpler. Because at the end of the day, we do need to understand there's going to be things that we need to do in life in order to be successful. Whether it be health, whether it be relationships, whether it be parenting at the end of the day, that we're not going to enjoy it all, but there's going to be benefits to doing it. So I always say this, fitness helps you maximize not just your life, but your lifestyle at the end of the day. So if you really don't enjoy it, just get somebody that can hold you accountable to get it done. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to get super toned or super ripped biceps. But at the end of the day, you do want to make sure that you're at least in a healthy standings when it comes down to your weight as well as your body fat percentage, just to reduce the chance of any health scares, man. Because do understand that when you experience these health scares, a lot of people fail to realize that you're not the only one impacted. Mainly if you got a family, mainly if you got kids, your family and your kids are impacted a little bit more than you may notice, even though you may be the person going through it. You feel me? They're not always going to tell you how they're feeling or how scared they are at the end of the day. So do me that favor, mainly for all my dads that got that crazy dad bod. You want to be here and you want the best for your kids at the end of the day. One thing of wanting to be here and wanting the best for them is just making sure you're in healthy standings. Like I said, you don't have to be super toned or super ripped to get in great shape. I mean, to be in healthy standings, not great shape. But do me that favor and make sure that you're following your due diligence and just hitting the gym at least 3 times a week, or doing things to stay active, worst case worst. Because at the end of the day, the world is your gym. So there's a lot of things that you can do without having to come to the gym in order to stay active and stay healthy. Steps is always a good thing. I always tell y'all all the time, if you somebody that's getting 20,000 steps in a day, that's a game changer alone. If it's a point you can't make it to the gym, do little things like burpees, squats, lunges, push-ups. Get the total gym pull-up if you because that ain't gonna cost a lot of money. That's something that I actually use to get in great shape, where you just put it on the top of the door frame and crank out some pull-ups. That's one of the reasons why I was able to do a lot of pull-ups over time, because I started with those little basic things. But I do try to get y'all to understand, you don't need to do a lot. You don't even need to have a gym membership if you're somebody that want to get in great shape. It's about taking the initiative and understanding that you should be making this a priority, because it's your health that we're talking about. The more you take advantage of, maximize your health and maximizing your standings, the easier it is at the end of the day, you're able to retain healthy standings. Like I said, you don't have to have a 6-pack. You don't have to get the 6% body fat percentage. Everybody's not meant to be 128 pounds. But as long as you're in the standings that are healthy for you and are easy to maintain, all we're gonna do is create longevity. And do understand, you do need to eat clean, and you do need to make sure you maximize your rest. There's a lot of things that come with lack of sleep, dementia. Like, please don't get me started on a lot of stuff that you can get with this lack of sleep. Because in America, we love to say sleep is for the weak. But in reality, in order to perform at high levels physically as well as mentally, you need to be making sure you maximize your sleep. So I always say this, if you haven't did this in a while too, and if you somebody that's been sleeping on that same bed since you 18, buy another bed too, because that's a game changer. It wasn't until I purchased another bed, so I feel like I was really able to take my fitness to the next level, because it allowed me to recover better. You know what I mean? So spend some money on that bed too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people spend money on their cars, and a lot of people spend money on entertaining themselves. But when it comes down to basic things like a gym membership, a good mattress, a decent pair of shoes, you don't have to have 1,000 pairs of shoes, but at least 2 decent pairs of shoes that are actually helping you throughout your steps that you take on a regular basis. Do understand, these little basic things will help you build longevity like no other. Trust me when I say that. So we're gonna do 2 more sets of this, and then we're gonna move on to the workout. Easy, easy, easy. We're gonna do 1 more set of this. It's actually not too bad. be real with y'all, this is actually the first time I did this. That's another thing you gotta be worried about too. Sometimes what trainers or influencers are showing you in regards to exercising, many of you, somebody is like, what did you do to build your physique? Those aren't exercises that they're doing on a regular, so technically those aren't exercises that built their physique. So this would actually be a great example for me. I've done this probably 3 times in my entire life. So to sit here and say that this exercise helped me build my six-pack will be a complete lie. You feel me? I like showing you all things like this because I do understand that some people want to spice it up when it comes down to their routine. And then me personally too, I get bored with doing some of the same things too. This is another reason why I dabble in some of these things from time to time. But I'm a firm believer that keep it simple, keep it plain. That's what works at the end of the day. Like I said, this is something that you can do. You can get results from it, don't get me wrong. But to sit here and say that this is something that I do on a regular basis that helped me get my six-pack, that would be a goddamn lie. And that's one thing you need to be careful with. A lot of trainers and a lot of influencers are showing you exercises, but at the end of the day, those aren't things that they do on a regular in order to get great shape or maintain great shape. So do be mindful of that. Not saying don't try it, not saying don't use it, because it could be a point that them showing you the exercise, it may be more beneficial for you or may give you that kick you need to stay consistent, because I do understand that exercising can be extremely boring depending on what exercise you do. But this is why I always tell y'all, find things that you enjoy that can help you stay consistent, and you ain't never got really worried about needing the motivation to get in, because you got all the motivation around you. Let's get it. When it comes down to ab exercises, this is definitely one that, you know, I got 40 different variations of it, but this is one that I definitely do on a regular. Today I'm gonna keep it simple, I'm gonna keep it here. So for those who always say, oh, you know, you need to slow it down. No, not use momentum. This is one of the ways I don't use momentum. But like I said, you gotta watch more videos to understand that. Like I said, it's so many different variations. That's why I get so sick and tired of people telling people this is the best way to do it. You need to understand the person's use case in order to understand what's best for them at the end of the day. Like, there's so many benefits to doing certain things. If it comes down to a point of you making a statement, this is a better way to do it, or get more definition, or etc., like I said, you still need to understand the use case. So for example, with this one, switch it up so many different ways. I might hit you with that, what I just did. I might do one leg at a time. You know what I mean? I might do knees. I might do holds. Like that alone is different variations. A great example, when I'm at the top. This is another way for me to actually build more grip strength. That's one. Shoulder stability is gonna be another one. So sometimes I use momentum, sometimes I don't use momentum. Like I said, in order to understand these things when it comes down to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, watch the videos, you all. And then do me a favor and watch the full video so you can understand the full concept of what I'm trying to get across. But today I'm gonna keep it real simple for all my basic people. This is when we actually use the pad. I don't always use the pad because using the pad just makes it that much easier. But the beautiful thing about making it that much easier, what can we do? We can keep a lot of tension in the core without having to use some momentum. And then do understand that when I'm doing some of these exercises where I'm using momentum, I try to get y'all to understand that I'm still personally able to connect with the area that I'm trying to train. Everything that I do is intentional. I'm very intentional when it comes down to my training. So if it's a situation where I can't keep the resistance or apply resistance to the area that I'm trying to train, me personally, I don't even do the exercise. So that's the difference between me and you when it comes down to this. You can do things at a fast pace and have motion, and at the end of the day, still be able to connect and break down the muscle group that you're trying to train. So that's one thing that some of y'all need to get across. It's not my fault that you haven't developed that type of connectivity in order to do it the same way that I'm doing. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean say it doesn't work. The thing is, you need to go through the leveling process to understand how it works so you can do that. And that's what these videos are for, to give you information to understand what to do and what not to do. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna tell you that you shouldn't be doing this because this is a better alternative to this, and I don't understand why you are doing it. That's important for you all to understand. Another thing too, do me a favor and try to get your feet as high as you can go. And then once you get to the top of the exercise, do me a favor and try to control down on the abs as much as you possibly can. It makes a big difference in connectivity. So this right here is gonna be the last set. We still doing 3 sets of 15, nothing too crazy. Easy. Whew, not too bad. So now let's actually work out.